responsive educational experiences that inspire innovation, critical thinking, and collaboration. Our vision to develop learners who are competent, compassionate problem solvers. Our operating principles: information for one is information for all, no surprises, verify facts, think ahead, disagree, explain your thinking, and then commit. Thank you.
Charles City Spotlight Award.
So Jen was gonna present this, but there's when we get to the agenda, there's an amendment that's gonna be taken off that she was gonna present. So she just asked me to read this for you guys, you can read most of it, but it's basically each month they're gonna do a spotlight of the awards for the employees of Charles City. It follows in the nominations were by their peers and put in the spotlight for either going above and beyond, recently accomplishing something, or thanking someone for doing something they've done where you were on campus or the district. So Washington was Lynn, Joy, Sarah, and Lee. Lincoln was Michelle, Amy, Diane, Carla, Tracy. And middle school was Brittany, Kelsey, Caitlin, Jen, and then high school was Sarah, Casey, and Dave. And the district was Jennifer, Alicia, Jen and Meg, Josh, Bethany, Val, and Jean. And she said that you guys could read them through it if you want to, that she was just gonna, that's what she was just gonna go over. She's done.
Thank you.
For those of you that are here, congratulations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that you have done.
Visitors wishing to have time for public comment. Approval of the agenda.
There's two amendments. There was an resignation from Daniel Goodman, sorry, as a para. His last day is March 22nd. And then we are going to take off the RTI Solution Tree Conference. They are no longer going, so that doesn't need to be ordered.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. First is the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the following consent agenda items as amended.
Sorry. Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee report. Station. Yeah, Josh.
I was gonna say, I believe this is an oversight. We have not met.
No, it was health insurance again. We met real quick.
Yeah, last Friday, maybe,
Yeah, it was
or Thursday.
yep, it was. It was on health insurance, and that's the only thing we discussed.
We're in the process of working through.
It was March.
that process.
It was March 1st.
When is that going to be finalized?
Well, the next negotiations meeting with the staff would be 27, March 27th. And then we'll meet the board April 8th. So I'm hoping to get something between now and April 8th. Just so it aligns with county's budget.
Administrative Director, Superintendent.
Yes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm out of turn. Administrative Director reports come next.
Let me, but can you do it? Let me write it.
Okay, hello. So the technology department's mid-year update. Just wanted to have to have you. I just had it working a minute ago. Gotta love technology, right? It's just a PDF, so just do it down. There's a couple new board members, so I just wanted to remind you all again, the technology department has two of us. Myself as the technology director, and then John Carpenter is my assistant. I am a 12-month salary and he is a 12-month hourly employee. He's been here about 14 years and I am going on 2 years, so. Okay, what we do again, we help the district, we're a service department. And just some stats of kind of what we got going on, networking. We have 13 network closets in this district, all connected with school-owned fiber. We also have 3 remote areas where some network switches are connected, like a weight room that we added on, the innovative campus over at the church, and the high school cafeteria. In those network closets, there are 40 network switches. Most of them are 48 port PoE switches. We also have 150 wireless access points in the district. So networking wise, we've got a lot to keep up and running 24/7. We have connected to that network. There are 63 door readers currently on this campus, and Beta Campus has a couple of their own as well. We also have over 150 or 100 security cameras connected to the district's network. And in the last 4 years, we had over 150 learning spaces where we installed the audiovisual setup, either what you see up here or what you see over there. It included a laser projector, an Airtame, which is the wireless presentation system. A lot of the mounted projectors have the audio enhancement where they can wear the lapel mic to broadcast their voice throughout the room. The 70-inch display TVs have a sound bar. And then in the high school here, we didn't mount them because we didn't know what was going to happen with this building. So they were put on carts, kind of like the one you see over there. But they have the same projector and some external speakers. In the mounted projection, we have the Crestron wall controllers, which kind of help you flip just your input source because the little remotes disappear a lot of times. So that gives you a way to just flip those sources or go from Airtame to wireless or back to HDMI. We help manage software. We have PowerSchool, which is our student information system. We have the Adobe Creative Suite that high school purchased the last few years. Destiny is our library management system. We have so IXL, some certain math software platforms, but all those have a need where you have to input all the users and manage them. They don't always talk together. So we have a lot of input and helping with managing those. Securely is our filtering, and that's also a cloud-based software. It helps the Chromebooks stay safe. It's supposed to help keep the students from getting to what they shouldn't be getting to. There's always little tweaks and things we have to keep doing as Google changes and as things keep updating, then you got to find those little quirks that something broke overnight with an update or those kinds of things. Staff devices, we have over 200 staff devices. The majority of them are the Apple MacBook Pro. We're going on year 5 now of our last refresh, so we're going to be looking in next fiscal year to update all of those again. We haven't decided exactly on what model, but I'm sure it'll be along the Apple platform. That seems to be the easiest to manage for us. Copiers and printers, we do have a managed print service, but that still means we've got, let's see, I wrote it down, over 50 network printers and copiers in this district. So we try to keep them all the same make model for the most part so that they're easy to maintain, easy to train on, keep them standard where no matter what building you're working in, it looks and feels the same. So all of our end users kind of feel comfortable with what they're doing. Student devices, we are 1-to-1 Chromebook now with student devices. That's preschool through 12th grade. And then we have some loaner carts in each building for when a student has something happen, they crack their screen or it quits working, they bring it in, we hand them a loaner for the day. And then we take that staff device back to that student device back to our office, and we do all of our Chromebook repairs in-house. So we put a new screen on, or we fix the keyboard, or we put a new camera in it, or whatever is not working that day. Phones, we've got 235 voice over IP Polycom phones. They all have the Zoom phone service. And then with that, we can have the Zoom phone client installed on personal cell phones as well. So they can take kind of that desktop phone with them as they go out and about, and they can receive calls from parents, and they're never giving up their cell phone. And then we just have all kinds of miscellaneous equipment we help with, including the athletics, sometimes music, assistive technologies, those kinds of things. Yeah. What do we do most of the time? It kind of gives you a scale, those bars out, what we spend most of our time on. The planning is set up primarily, a lot of that's the beginning of the year, all those softwares, getting everything ready again, getting it rolled up a year, getting it ready to go. Support, email, phone, in-person, ticketing system, we take it anyway. Support comes pretty much 24/7 as well, but that's part of being a service department. When, you know, teachers are working late at night on something and they have problems, they do reach out, and a lot of times we will respond within half an hour or so. The summer, you wouldn't think with anyone here that the support side would be strong, but it really is. There's staff MacBooks that are home, they're still working, they're getting ready, they're going to conferences, they're doing things, getting ready for the next year, and so we still have support needed year round. The students and parents, we do provide direct support, but to help manage the amount of users, we try to funnel that through students. We try to do it either in the lower levels through the classroom teachers, and then at the secondary levels, we have them come to the info commons in the middle school and high school primarily. So if their Chromebook breaks, they bring it to the library then reaches out to us, and that way we can kind of manage, because those students will move from one room to another all day, and they're kind of hard to track them down. So parents, the same thing. We will help parents if they call us directly, but we try to channel that through the office first. So a lot of times those kind of tier 1 support, we've got the office help them figure out how to answer those without having to go directly to us. The repairs and troubleshooting, like I mentioned earlier, we do repair all the Chromebooks in-house. That takes a lot of time. We had, got some stats here, we had in the months, let's see, November, we filed a claim with our Break Fix Insurance that we fixed 40 Chromebooks. December, we had 28, January 33, February 63. So it varies month to month. Some months kids just get careless, and some months they don't. And then sometimes it's just, you know, they're on year 3, and there are some things that are just starting to fail too, that are outside of that warranty range that we're not replacing. Troubleshooting the audio visual, you know, when you have all these new things in the wireless presentation, well, those are wireless as well, so they'll drop from the network once in a while. So we got to get a ladder out, we got to go up, we just got to unplug it, get back in, magic happens, it's all back online. But it's just one of those things where we're running around doing that all day, every day. And then, and we do, as I mentioned in the slide before, we have over 3,000 devices we're trying to keep up and running all the time during school. So it's a lot of work for 2 people to do, but we get her done. Reporting is a large part that people sometimes don't realize we handle. The state reports fall, winter, spring. There are 3 main ones where we have to have our PowerSchool, our student information system, completely error-free to roll it up into a state database. And then they take the information they need, and we make sure it looks correct. And if it doesn't, we got to go back into our student information system, get it corrected. So it's kind of, I'm the head person managing the 4 or 5 campuses who are inputting that information, and we just gotta always make sure we're all on the same page and the information and data we're submitting is accurate. This year we had a civil rights data collection. That's a federal report that they just pick and choose when they're gonna send it out, and you have a certain amount of time you have to file. They asked for years prior, so this year we had to submit in February the data from the 21-22 school year. I've gone through a few of them. The data changes what they ask for, so it's kind of hard to always prepare for what fields are going to be asking for. And it ranges all kinds of gender, race, ethnicity, who was enrolled in what course at high school, and did they pass, broken down by the gender, race, ethnicity, disabilities, all those kind of questions. They asked what kind of discipline behaviors we had, how did we handle them, how many staff did we have? So that was kind of a lengthy report this winter I went through. And then end of terms, report card time, as their standards change and things, there's always some in-depth reporting there. And then, like I kind of mentioned, we submit monthly all the hardware, anything that's basically electronic, we submit the repairs we did in-house. So that includes the buildings and grounds repairs and the technology side. I compile all that in a report, we submit it in, and they pay us back for our time and parts. So that's kind of a great little thing we got going on. And then anytime that anyone in the district has a purchase they need, they reach out to us as far as hardware technology types purchases. So then we get the quotes from the vendors and we watch demonstrations, make sure we're getting the best product. And then we provide the quote back to whoever had made the request, and then they go ahead and submit it for purchase. And then the last thing, the recycling and disposal of old equipment. That takes some time as well. So in conclusion, the amount and frequency of our needs is high, and it does change day to day, month to month. So we just have to always make sure we're on top of it and planning for change and cycling back around. And my goal, which was for this year, it was for last year as well, was to do the repository to help with those emails, calls, those kinds of things. So I'm still plugging away at that. There's not a lot of hours in the day to get to it, but we're getting there. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
I got a couple. So one of the questions I had was about the Chromebooks, because it seems like that takes a lot of time. You guys do an excellent job because they're always working. Do we have a chargeback model for students who are, I guess I would say repeat offenders, you know, like where they're bringing them in on a monthly basis because they've damaged something and you've spent, you know, hours repairing them?
Yes. So if it is not a hardware type of repair, if it's a user,
Like they kept dropping it and break the screen.
it's a $25 charge for cracked screens that we, or if they physically, you know, threw it at the wall or something, you've seen it all. But if it has been user damage, there is a deductible fee that is charged.
And then the other one is, and I'm not sure if this is something you're really involved, but cyber insurance is something that's always talked about. Does the district have cyber insurance, and do we have compliance that we have to do, and
Yes.
how much are you involved with that?
Yes.
Because it seems like it would be really important for you to be involved.
Yep. So we took advantage of the AEA training. That was one of the requirements. You had to make sure all your staff was trained. They all submitted a certificate back to me. So we made sure the two-factor authentication was turned on. That was one of the requirements. We had a few other requirements, but yeah, we have a policy that should cover us. And she kind of does the financial piece of that. I don't know how much that is, but I know that we've met all the compliance pieces of it. Yeah.
Awesome. Great, thank you so much.
I'll bring your stuff.
Thank you. Dr. Lundquist?
Oh, that's good.
Pardon? Yeah. Oh.
Callie's gonna go ahead with her report first.
So my mid-year goals. So I was asked at the beginning of the year, what my goals were for the district. I don't remember what I said because I was overwhelmed. So I'm going to tell you what they are now. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of process, because some of you guys weren't here when I started. So the cleanup process, my first day on the job, I finished your FY22 audit. It was not completed. I completed that. And I asked the question, can I say like, what are your findings and stuff, so I can start working on that stuff? That's what most business managers do when they go to a new district. And they said, bank recs. Your bank rec wasn't done for a year and a half. So it took me months to get that.
The bank clerk is what?
Balancing your bank statements.
I just want to point out one thing that's really
Yep.
important. So
Yep.
Kelly started and we are in what year, what fiscal year would this considered?
So this is FY24.
Okay, so
Mhm.
24, 23, 22. So
Yep.
basically you had 2 years
Yep.
of year-end reporting and closing the books that had not been done.
Yes, yep. So he said bank rec. well, looking at your bank rec, you had 17 different bank accounts. And you were transferring money hundreds of times a month. So we made it down to 2 bank accounts. And I can balance within 15 minutes now. I balance every day. At the end of the month, I'm done in 15 minutes. You guys have board reports for us and for the thing. Now, like, it took a lot of time, like we got, my staff was great, they got it ready to go, they understand like the importance now of that and stuff like that, so we got that going. We also were working on payroll codes and account codes, so there was no codes for special ed when I started. That's why you did not have a deficit before I started. Also with accounts payable, like your title money, all that kind of stuff was kind of just thrown into a regular fund, and that's why you guys have so much carryover in title. Now that we have everything in Eat-Right's funds, we'll see what actually moving forward will be at some of these funds. Along with the special deficit we will have moving forward. And then our correct contract, so there was many teachers that were on the wrong step in the wrong lane. We got that all fixed, payroll. Moving forward, everybody's in the right step, the right year, right lane, and we're fixing that moving forward as well. And this is just some of the stuff, the bond payments were not right, so you guys are gonna pay, you paid over $600,000 or $6,000 last year in overpayments and bonds. So we got that fixed, they had the wrong schedule, so
We have an audit every year, right?
you do,
So. I'm remembering, I guess the audits weren't done timely this last
No.
time, but.
Yeah.
Maybe the one prior to that, I'm
Mhm.
remembering that it
Mhm.
talked glowing,
yes,
so.
yes,
What,
yes,
we
so
haven't-
there's still 26 schools
Mhm.
that don't have their FY done yet. So that's why we switched auditors, so they would nitpick us a little harder and see, and they have been. So I didn't listen, I just wanted to write us up for everything so that we can get it fixed moving forward.
so an auditor should have been able to tell us if
Yes.
we were having.
Mhm.
Codes for title, special,
Yep.
whatever, that should have been.
And it's mainly on me though too, that's my job basically, so like,
Right,
You know what I
but
mean?
let's just
So-
say for whatever reason,
Yeah.
somebody's not doing
yes,
their job.
Yep.
And we have an auditor for a reason,
right, yep.
and
they're there
the
for
auditor
us.
should have said, oh, where are the codes? Where have we seen codes for
Right.
title, special
Right.
ed,
Yep.
or this kind of thing?
Yep.
And why do you have 17 different bank accounts?
Yes, I didn't understand that at all, I couldn't follow it, so we cleaned it up. And so we're still $34,000 short somewhere. I can't find it, the auditors can't find it, so I think we're just gonna do an adjustment. Get rid of it off, so.
What I'm hearing, I guess, is that prior to you doing whatever it is you're doing now, to fix this, somebody wasn't doing the job and the auditors were.
Correct.
So we didn't know,
Yes, you did not know, yes, yep.
scary.
So this is some of the stuff that we are moving forward with, we got all the payroll codes cleaned up. So like right now I watch like the categorical, so like if we go negative on one, we switch it to the next one, and that one's clean, so moving forward at the end of the year, I can just do my job at the end and be done and looks good. We did clean up the benefit statements, benefits were crazy, they weren't lined up with people correctly. We did clean that up, we saved over $64,000 that was being sent out the door, is now in our pockets. We started a new hiring process, which we're excited about, so it's all web-based and it goes to each person that's wanting this, an employee, it goes to them, and then they say, okay, I wanna interview this person, then hire this person, and then it goes to you guys to be approved, and then it's also an onboarding process, it's the same system, and it syncs to our software, which we love. So if this person gets hired, it goes straight into our software, we don't have to type in 17 different people now, it just goes right in. It also has like all their classes they need to take, their like tax forms, everything's on there now. Like it's just one spot shop, so it just goes right down the line, and then it shows if you're not having completed it, you send an email, an automatic email goes out saying, hey, we don't have your driver's license, or hey, we don't have this thing uploaded. And it all goes right into our software, into their file. So we also started that new time clock system, which is on one pad now instead of going 3 different systems. You guys did have that a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. For some reason you got rid of it, so we brought it back, so it's kind of already set up for us, so it's kind of an easy process. We do have a pilot group going now, testing it, it's going well for them, so we will probably bring that out in the next couple of weeks for everybody to do. And then now with April's help, she got us, you guys had K-Dax before I started 2 years ago. And that's scanning all like the bills into our software, so you click on an invoice, the invoice pops right up, or you click on a person's name. Like their file comes up, like the health insurance, their contracts and stuff like that. So we got that going. It's gonna take us a while. I mean, you guys have a lot of employees, so we're working time by time, but April helped us with that, get that up and going. So accounts receivable, payable, we created a new fundraiser form, which I'm glad we did. There was a fundraiser that was done for the bowling, and the money didn't come to us, so went to the boosters, so we pulled that money back for us. So we watch that pretty closely now. We also created a form, so like for gates and for concession stands, they have to take how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. They have to sign off on it 2 times. They're not doing that before, so that holds them accountable now of who's counting the money. And all this software, all the deposits and invoices now are scanned in the software. So next year, when the auditors don't come, they have access to our main screens and they can just pull an invoice and we don't have to scan stuff to them now. We continue to clean up statements. We will keep doing a better job of that. Credit cards are a nightmare. We are gonna have to figure out how to figure that out. We had to change our card number 3 times now. There was some charges on there that weren't ours. There's some charges on there that were ours that should have been taken off years ago that we didn't need anymore, so we got those cleaned up. Also, there was a credit, like somebody had wrote down our credit card number. We don't want that. We want them to come in our office and use it because it scares us if you have write our number down. And so we will make some changes on that.
How many credit cards do we have?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah. We have like ID and Fairway and stuff, cards like that, but just one main credit card and like stuff like that. We got our 1099s up and going. You guys had not put those into the IRS. So we are compliant now, and we started a new rough pay system where we don't have to write checks anymore to 500 individuals. It's just rough pay system. So we don't do that. So moving forward, all employees will have contracts or letter of assignments. Right now, our hourly staff does not have anything, so Danielle and I are clueless of who gets what, or hours or days and stuff like that. So moving forward next year, we will start that. We're also going to start looking at high cost students for special ed. If a high cost student costs the district more than $55,000, you can try and get some reimbursement back from the state. So Jen and I are going to work hard on this one to see. We do have a couple high cost kids. The allotted amount of $55,000 if they go over that amount, and then we can try and bring some of that money back into the district. So that is my goal this summer to work on before it's due August 1st. So we'll work on that pretty hard this coming up spring and stuff and getting the kids. We can also use it for IC too. So if IC has a student that is over that allotted amount, we can try and get that money back for non-public claims as well. So we're gonna work on that a little bit. Our new onboarding software, we're thinking into software a little bit, and then we'd like to start the offboarding process as well. So like if they have a key or a laptop or something like that, they also our offboarding process would click that, hey, we need this, this, and this before you check out. That's down the road. And then credit cards we're gonna work on. And then my big thing right now is watching the solvency ratio expenditures for next year. Just make sure we're. And I couldn't do it without these girls. They're amazing. I know I came in like a tornado. And so we have been doing some group bonding and stuff like that. And then Danielle actually went to IASA with me. She's learning codes and laws and stuff like that. So it's great. My last staff at North Coke, we all went. So like one person would go to this class, one person would go to this class, and we come together. So it's just not one person knowing all the rules and stuff. It's more than one person. So you think, oh, where's this coming from, bro? Yep. So, but I think from all they do a great job.
What I'm hearing is a lot of systems and processes being put in.
Yes, we will be, yes.
They're just so far in the point.
Yeah, so far, yep, and it's getting better, so, yes. You have any questions?
When is the audits done?
Okay, so he has to have it done by the end of this month, and I emailed him to see where we're at. But
The one that you're talking about now is the new
the FY 23, yep,
firm.
yes, yep,
Alright.
yep, they just had,
And
they're
that should
having
be-
struggling with the basics,
They are.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the audit should look different than. what-
Yes, yes, and he will present, get the present, and I just told him, whatever you see, write it down, that way I can fix it going forward, so.
Because you're thinking maybe previously it was just too big picture and they didn't really, they just went through
They
it
just went
quickly
through
and
it,
they,
yeah, they probably just didn't pull anything or look at it. So, and I'm
or they just have positive money, like, oh, well,
Yeah.
pretty good,
Yep,
great.
yeah, yep, and they had so many. And, yep.
But Kelly, are you able to see like how long some of these issues were in play? Like how long, like for instance, like the special ed deficit has been a thing?
For years, yeah. Yep. I mean, I can go back and look, but, I mean, I can play next year.
But then every year, we just get money from the state and then that just got shoved into some just generic base.
Yeah, and then you did levy it back, so it hurt your cash and you hurt Jen. So this way we can levy it back.
Is it different talking to us this way?
Yeah, I was like, not like for this side.
Give me back the tip.
Yep.
Now you can call for Ann.
Thank you. Yeah.
Even way.
Right. Dr. Lundquist.
Yes, what's going well? Superintendent's board report for March 18th. The Charles City FFA chapter was recognized as a superior chapter at the North Central District FFA convention. In addition, 14 of the 32 members who attended earned a chance to participate in the state competition at ISU on April 15th and 16th. Congratulations to Josette Benning, gold rating in ag sales, Shay Bell, gold rating in ag broadcasting, Alex Wright, Anya Riziska, Nick Williams, Quinn Heidelberg, Sander Gracer, gold rating for the Ag Issues and Perceptions team, Ava Molitor, Bennett Hansen, Bryce Walker, Emma Pritchard, and Jocelyn Borman, gold rating for the Parliamentary Procedures team. Team members were recognized for the FFA Academic Achievement Award. Congratulations are also in order for Josette Benning, Margaret Voss, Madison, that should be Haas, excuse me, Hayden Heyer, Olivia Krager, Jada Litterer, Amelia McKenna, Taylor Quaid, Lauren Stout, and Lucas Vance. Mrs. Brandow, our CCHS counselor, after completing her first year as bowling coach, where she led the Comets to a 6th place showing in the Class 1A State Girls Team Tournament, was named the Central District Girls Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Coach Brandow. 3 CCHS students were named to the All NEIC Conference team. Congratulations to Keenan Wiley, who was named first team, Jack Hansen and Jeb Wandrow, who were named second team. The following students competed at the state contest in Hampton-Dumont recently. Congratulations are in order for Deshaun Griffin, Blake Hafe, Jacob Jones, Savannah Baldus, Gracie Opp, Jacob Deers. In addition, the district offers a special congratulations to Deshaun Griffin because he was selected for All-State. That's what's going well at Charles City Schools.
Thank you. Enrollment reports.
And there's that.
Excuse me. I think you'll be excited to learn that our enrollment report is actually up this month from what we've seen in the past. And it's typical that it goes up and down. I always like it best when it goes more up than down. I'm pulling it out of my bag here. I seem to have had it fall out of my papers. I was out on the patio to take this meeting and I apologize. A mariachi band started playing and I was sure that was going to disrupt my report. So I had to dash into the bedroom and left my report. So as you can see, our students are up. That's a big plus. Those that by 11 students, we have to realize that some still go out. It's just that overall we're in the positive by 11. So we had one kind of a homeschool. We had 3 that lost housing, one going into foster care, and one who was rehomed for a family emergency. But by and large, we only had almost one in foster care, and almost all of the rest were positive by moving in, which I love to hear that. several, we had a couple open enroll in from RRMR, but all the rest literally physically moved and found homes here. So good news there.
Thank you. Business. Set the date, time, and place for public hearings for the proposed 24-25 school year budget. Need a motion to set that.
I'll make a motion. It was resolved to approve to set the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 24-25 budget for April 8th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in the high school library at 1 Comet Drive, Charles City, Iowa 50616.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any discussion first? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Early graduation. That was on Monday. Yes.
Hey, yes. You guys are coming.
Yep.
The request for early graduation.
Just simply looking for your approval of a student that has completed their requirements and they're ready to move on into adulthood. The only thing I will tell you that this is for Lorelei. It appears to be an I. It's actually L Abbott on that, but Lorelei will be graduating early.
I'd make a motion to approve this request for early graduation.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Fundraiser. School robotics.
A fundraiser here. They didn't have the proper paperwork last month. As you recall, you remember hearing about this for our middle school tag students who have been competing as a robotics team. So you've heard about it last week. Just looking for the official approval this month.
Request for the fundraiser for the robotics team.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Name aid.
So Lacey's gonna, Jill gonna present, we have Timberline right now, and we'd like to move to planning and like the stuff. So she's done a better job getting this organized for us. We'll do a great job.
What is Timberland?
So Timberline is the company that we use currently to submit our Medicaid claims for reimbursement.
And you want to switch and get to a different company?
With some other changes that we'll talk about. So public speaking is not my forte, but just bear with me here. But I am Lacey Zerwell. I'm your Medicaid coordinator. I joined in late September of this year. So I first just want to share a quick overview. Our team is absolutely crushing the goals with Medicaid. So just a few of my favorite highlights. We have improved our timeliness by a lot. So that means as a district, we are submitting our claims for reimbursement faster, we get paid faster. That's a huge one. We also really work to get our Medicaid files in compliance with what the requirements are, as well as what's in the file is in compliance, and then we are in a secure location in one location versus multiple buildings. And we are all moved out of the old middle school. So that's a huge celebration. With April's help, we also developed a cloud storage so that we have all of our records into a digital form, which makes it easier to access, easier for audits, as well as decreasing the amount of physical space that we need.
When you say you've developed cloud storage, what do you mean by that?
So April helped us to set up a secure drive that is actually shared between Callie and myself that we upload all of our claims to. We upload all of our compliance files to, so it's all in one place versus physical files everywhere.
What do we use for those?
We use a Google Drive. The other things that we have done, we have provided assistance to some families with the actual process of applying for Medicaid. So kind of a win-win for the student gets what they need, and then it also helps us as a district. We also improved our compliance with our record checks. We do monthly record checks, and it is now up to date. Every month that we're submitting a bill, we're checking the people that are signing our bills. So we are in compliance with that now. And then we're training our new staff as they come in as best as we can so that they understand what they're doing, increasing our accuracy, increasing our reimbursement. Those are just a few highlights, but we've been doing a lot with our goals. The next slide that you'll see, we'll just talk about when can we be reimbursed by Medicaid. So if a student has Medicaid, they also have to have these 4 things met. They must have an IEP with billable services such as nursing, health services, behavior services, and transportation, or the attendant that rides the transportation. The parent has to provide consent to be able to allow us to bill Medicaid. The student has to have an active behavior plan and or an active health plan, just depending upon what their needs are. And then we also have to have a diagnosis on file from their physician. So those are the 4 things. This slide here just shows you some of our growth that we've had. So currently, as of this last month in February, we'll be submitting on 74 students. That's up from 70 last year, average of 60 the year before, and average of 38 the year before that. So definitely some growth that we are making within the program. And then our financials also shows growth within each year.
What does Medicaid pay for?
So Medicaid reimburses us for a portion of the costs of the services students receive. So things like their behavior para that may be with them in an individual or group setting. It may be the nursing services, whether it be monitoring their health plan and making sure that everybody is understanding the student's needs and we have those plans in place. It could be medication administration that our staff are doing. We have students that have certain health needs that then we have a para with them all day or part of the day that we're being reimbursed for that. And other medical procedures, our nurses do capping of students if needed. So a variety of things that we're able to be reimbursed for.
What you're talking about, there are students that are physically located on our campus somewhere, right?
Yes, so our students are all, we have students that are all on our campuses. We also are able to be reimbursed for our students that attend other schools, like the Lead Center, Pinecrest, River Hills, those students that we are able to submit claims for too.
They have whatever those 4 things there.
Right.
Is transportation.
Transportation for some of our students, yes, for our students that are going out of town, it really, I have another slide that will explain this more, but there were rules that were changed this year. And I think that's actually the next slide, April, if you want to go. So we could see a decrease. So this is a huge change this year. We just found out the official ruling or official guidance on that in January. It applies to the whole school year that this year we are being able to be reimbursed less per mile as well as less number of students that we can claim transportation on. They did change the bus rate from $3.89 per mile to 65 cents a mile. That is a huge decrease. The other component that really has impacted the transportation reimbursement is that we can only bill either the attendant at the para or aide that's riding the bus or the mileage for the majority of our students that we're billing on. If they ride in a van or if they're using a lift on our lift bus, then we can bill the attendant and the mileage. So it is a huge change. I put down here last year's transportation growth and then this year-to-date growth. It is a significant change. So although the number of students has increased, we may see a decrease just because of that transportation.
Law
That was Iowa Medicaid, their guidance that came out with an informational letter that they sent out in January. So we work to go through and submit as many as we can. It was not as much as we would love it to be, but we submitted what we can so far.
Do you think we saw an increase of students because there were just more students that had the needs, or that you guys were able to like properly identify them and then serve them appropriately?
Personally, I think both. I think we do have more students with more needs, but I think we also just have more manpower right now to really dig into it, see who's eligible, get our consent signed. So I think it's a little bit of both. On the next one, it describes our current billing state, which is what we originally had the question about of what's Timberline. So we use Timberline for Medicaid billing. Right now, we train our new staff. We create our logs that our staff complete every month. We distribute those, we review those for any missing information. And then from there, we upload those to Timberline. Timberline then enters the actual claim. They enter the actual data of what services we're claiming. I would say kind of unfortunately, we have needed to review the state remittance advice that we get. There have been lots of errors, so that has been pretty time consuming to find their errors, correct them, we're getting them corrected, but it's actually, when you get to an audit, it's very important that what we're claiming is accurate. So that's been a huge piece. Timberline creates financial reports for us. They do quarterly QA audits for us, and then they are our expert source for guidance. This is newer to me this year, and so I've been on the side of providing Medicaid services, but the billing side is new. So they've been a huge source of just guidance and questions. We do pay Timberline 6% of the net reimbursement. So last school year for 22-23, we paid $54,401. Thus far this year, it's been $36,660. So a proposal for growth within our district is to move to internal billing where we're submitting the claim with the support of an organization called ClaimAid. They are a company similar to Timberline, but it would be us doing more of the work. We'd like to begin that on July 1st. So what would change? I crossed out up here to see. So we would still train our new staff. We would still create the logs, distribute them, review them. We would upload them, but not to Timberline. We would upload them to our cloud storage so that we've got that for future needs. And then we would enter the claim instead of having Timberline do that. We would still review the state remittance advice. Hopefully there'd be less errors, but we are human. So still reviewing that just for accuracy. And then we would create the financial reports. We would rely upon ClaimAid. They would do 2 to 3 QA audits a year. So still making sure that we're in compliance with Medicaid requirements. And then they would be our expert source for questions and guidance. They would update us on any Medicaid changes. They would be somebody that we could email, phone call with any questions. They also could help us with the transition to internal billing, setting up the state program software, kind of figuring out how that all works right away. The fee for that would be $650 per month, a flat fee. So the projected amount for next school year would be $7,800, which if you compare that to what we paid Timberline last school year, that could be like $46,000 saved. But still having that support from an organization with the expertise.
Is that flat fee the maximum?
They do offer other amounts of service. You can actually do the same service that Timberline has through ClaimAid for the same 6% amount. Timberline does not offer a consultant level of service. So they do not offer that level where you can do the internal billing.
You have enough staff that can do what you're describing?
Yes, so it would be me right now. So this year has been a lot of learning, and it has been a lot of getting us to be in compliance. And so that's been the focus, and we are doing amazing with that. So trying to wrap that all up this school year so then we could focus upon next school year of doing our own billing for Pittsburgh.
So the electronic billing, it's all computerized, right? Just enter it on the computer.
Yes.
Should be something that is taxing them.
No, and Callie actually okayed me to go to Waverly a couple of times and meet with a colleague who does that on her own too, to see it live and in person to see how it works before even contemplating this is something we could have the ability to do.
Timberline, we had to pay $10,000 claim then because they reached in their service, so we just paid them this year. And so Lacey's fixing most of Timberline's mess ups right now, so we thought she's already doing the job. So that's why I keep saying Timberline and do it.
It starts to kind of repeat it, like if you start to see similar things, you start to get more familiar with the process.
Absolutely. That is the great thing of having to check their work. I've learned all about calculating units, learned more than I ever thought I would know, just in checking someone else's work. So that has been beneficial. The last slide that we included is just for the position of Medicaid coordinator. We really do encourage that to continue, just especially if there were those added responsibilities. And we are really self-sufficient as far as funding. The Medicaid coordinator comes right back out of what is reimbursed from Medicaid. So that's all I have. Open to any questions.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Really?
I love it. It is really great, but it would be transition. It's a challenge.
You did a great job.
And is this ClaimAid, are they Iowa, like, so when you say like, it's Iowa Medicaid, is that Iowa specific law? Right, they're like sending these,
The transportation thing?
no, the state remittance advice.
Yes, so everybody gets that. So we get reimbursed
Iowa or nationwide?
nationwide. Everybody gets reimbursed by Medicaid, and then there's a state share that we have to pay back. It does vary, even within Iowa, it varies based on the school district, that every district has a different amount that they get reimbursed.
And remember, you guys in the every year, we own $385,000. So we were going negative this year into it because of I was not last year. But we're gonna do. We're doing.
Lacey, have you been able to play around with this claim aid before you commit to it?
Just seeing it in action, I haven't been able to play around with it. April has been awesome in helping me explore how you can get that program onto my computer. So I haven't been able to play around with it, but I've seen it live in action.
They don't have like a tutorial that you're able to just.
Not that I've been able to find.
She has good resources. We know.
Mhm.
Other schools.
We do have a Medicaid coordinator, PLC, as well, which is a great source of information. We've relied upon them a lot as well.
Do most of the events use this Timberline instead?
They use a variety. There are some that do internal billing with no other company. There are some that use Timberline. There are some that use ClaimAid. There are some that do internal billing with ClaimAid. There are some that use an organization called MJ Care. There's a very similar rate. I did inquire about that, very similar rate to Timberline. So just a variety of what everybody's doing.
Like comfort level too.
Mhm.
Like you could probably, if you really wanted to, you could probably work your way off claim aid and then just be like completely self-sufficient.
Yes, that's kind of what we were contemplating, is that if we did that for a year or two and just really got comfortable, got very knowledgeable, I'd love to be an expert, would be my goal. Bethany said she'd love for us to be like the role model in the state.
Ooh, big
Yeah, it's
goal.
just gonna take time to get there.
Now that's-
I would, if you did that, then you'd have to keep up with all of the rules, regulations, laws.
Yes,
and those
yes.
Sort of things.
And that's where ClaimAid would help us to start with, is they would be our expert, they'd send us changes, they would do that. So that's why we really didn't want to make a huge plunge of recommending completely internal, but maybe internal with supports.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cheap for somebody to keep up with all of the
Mhm.
changes.
That's what I have.
Makes me excited about it, so keep up the good work.
Thank you, thanks for your time.
Do we have to make a motion to approve that or?
Yeah, because we're gonna, if you guys approve it, we're gonna cancel their 3-year contract. So
Do we get any penalty for canceling?
I have to give them 30 days. That's all it is. Yep. And we're gonna start this July 1, so I'll start.
And then we don't get any reimbursement for doing that to all 6%.
No,
of
we
whatever.
pay.
We pay that.
Yeah, yep.
I'm sure. We just need a motion.
Yep.
to approve.
Yep.
Make a motion to terminate our contract with Timberline and move forward with any ClaimAid.
A second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Budget guarantee.
So this is the thing that we're just gonna start approving every year. It's, if you don't need it, you might need it. It's just good to practice every year. If you, the budget's not, that's to say it's not set yet. With everything, we had to send our tax rate in, so it's just, it's nothing that, it's nothing, it's not no money, it's no nothing like that. It's just you're doing what you just in case it comes up with budget. If it's settled at the end, as soon as they.
So.
Yep. So like, last year you guys had budget guarantee, so you had to approve it. This year, it doesn't look like you need it, so you're just, so it's kind of like what we do for expenditures that are just allowable growth and not money or anything. So you, it's like recommended when Travis said it last time, you just recommend it that it's approved that way. If it is on your budget, when everything is settled with the state, it's already approved and good to go. So we'll just do it every year. Like I did at my last district every single year, even.
Motion guarantee.
If they'll just have to read that.
Yeah. It's the-
With I would just say, I just need a motion to approve budget guarantee for FY 24-25. Yep.
Make a motion to approve the budget guarantee for FY 24-25.
Second.
And second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Skills USA Activity Fund.
Yep, so that's a Jesse White one. He just wants to have an account and activity fund. They're building some stuff and sell some stuff, so they just want to have the money to go back into an account that they can have and use.
So that's not a bank.
Nope, just activity fund. Yep, yep.
It would still be supervised by your office, right?
Yes, yep, yep. So I warned him, I said, you can't go negative. The general fund has to pay for that and we're not one to pay for that, so.
I'd make a motion to approve the Skills USA as a club and the activity.
I'll second.
Any discussion? What skills, just your,
So this year it came out of general budget, like it's a conference. I think it was like $850 that they have to go to. So next year, since you're gonna do a club and do some fundraising and do some stuff, they'll take over on the registration to go to that kind of stuff.
It's also important to satisfy the State Department's CTE, Career Technical Ed. All of the programs in all of our strands have to have a student club component. We were not in compliance with that in the past. We are now. So you're familiar with things like DECA for business and FFA for ag. Well, this is an equivalent of that. So we need to have the student club to be in compliance, but it will take us, we'll have to get a little bit of seed money and get some traction, but it should be a good, this program is one that I highly recommend.
thank you. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Policy reviews. This is second readings on.
Yeah, these are the second readings we previously discussed. Everything there is, there are no substantive changes. The only two that you're going to, two areas that you'll see veer from IASB are those in transportation and inclement weather. And they now, we're going to keep them in our sort of domesticated version. We kind of customized them because that fits with what we're doing. Similarly, April has what I think is a substantially better guidance in our policy for technology and internet use and so on. So we're going to go with what both Jerry and April have recommended. It's inclusive of everything of IASB, but is also customized to our district specific needs as well.
Yes, I and each of these one day. When people do this for them.
Not a lawyer.
That's right, 600, 700, and 900 series. And we thought that
I don't know if I can approve my own thing. Or you approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve 600, 700, and 500. Great.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Board member comments.
This is unrelated. We haven't gotten any, we haven't heard any more from our superintendent.
I have not heard from Steve for, so I don't, the position is advertised.
Okay.
I'm not aware of applicants yet.
Did you get any of the like or about us?
Yeah. You should have got that. I know you all got that.
We got a copy of the result, but I don't, did he send the actual copy of the final profile? I think that's the question you're asking.
Yeah.
Give it to you.
I'd have to look back.
And then he reached out to all of us and Peggy texted me, I reached out to you guys to like talk to him about any feedback I had for it.
All of the initial profile, but
Yes.
not the long one. We never got the summary.
To my knowledge, I don't know.
That was my question.
I was 3 page.
Yeah,
and
the
I
long
think-
thing.
Yeah, I think he got it down to a page stack.
Yeah, so that, from what I remember, that's not gonna be until late April. So we'll start to see.
See the. Most of every single application comes through. Motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
second.
Second.